You are watching Community Conversations. I'm Doris Ballard, your host, and this program is produced by ConcordTV. It is also an podcast that you can listen to in your car if you'd like. My guest today is none other than Michelle Talwani. She is the Vice President of Marketing and Economic Development of Families in Transition. And if you've never heard anything about Families in Transition, stay tuned because they are an amazing organization. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you, Doris.
So you are also very, very busy. Every time I see you, I mean, since 1991, you just celebrated your 25th year. Yes.
We're in our 25th year.
And you are just exploding because of the need I'm seeing, right? The homelessness is people that are at risk of being homeless. So let's talk a little bit about your, and by the way, fitnh.org is the website. I'm going to repeat that quite often. And we are taping this, Michelle, at New England College, Concord on 62 North Main Street, right? So this is part of our being more mobile out in the community. So we're thrilled, and thank you to New England College, Concord. All right, let's talk about the mission of Families in Transition.
Sure. So Families in Transition provides safe, affordable housing for homeless families or families who are at risk of becoming homeless, as well as individuals. And we have housing and services in Concord, Manchester, Dover, and soon Wolfboro.
So you have approximately 60 employees that handle not only your housing but your stores as well, and we'll talk about your stores in a bit because I'm a big fan of the one here in Concord.
Great.
And so, okay, so there's a real need right now for people who are homeless. Affordable housing is a big issue. What other factors contribute to that you see in Families in Transition that affect people being, you know, homeless and or at risk of being homeless?
Right. So last year, Families in Transition had over 5,000 requests for housing assistance, and we were able to provide housing to just under 700 individuals, and half of whom are children. And some of the factors that cause homelessness would be underemployment, unemployment, lack of education, affordable housing, substance use. There's definite mental illness. There's definitely an array of things that lead people to homelessness.
Let's talk about your, how did you get involved in helping, and how did the organization begin? There was a need, somebody said, let's fill that need. Who started it? How did it all come about?
So in 1991, Maureen Beauregard, who is our current president, founded the organization. It was a program of the New Hampshire Community Loan Fund here in Concord, based on the need for providing transitional short-term housing for single moms. And so Maureen, it was herself, she was the only paid staff in 1991, and she worked with 5 women and their children at a property on Spruce Street in Manchester that we still own. And since then, in those 25 years, we've grown to have 20 of our own buildings, about $32 million worth of assets, and about 200 housing units.
That's
in three cities.
Right. So when you say that half of that 700 were children, that has to be difficult to say we don't have any space. Oh, you have that many on the waiting list. And how long can they stay in the let's talk about the transitional one. Sure. The transitional, you have permanent, supportive, and you have transitional in Concord, correct? Yes. So let's talk about first what's happening in Concord.
Okay. So in total, Families in Transition owns 3 properties here in Concord, 2 in Bicentennial Square, and 1 on South Main Street where we have our Outfitters Thrift Store Boutique. In Bicentennial Square, one of our properties is for 9 single moms and their kids, and that's our transitional housing. And the other property has 6 apartments, and that's for single women. And that's more permanent supportive housing, which is for women who have more longer-term disabilities and may take a little bit longer to get on their feet again and back out into the community. So I think what's different about Families in Transition is that we not only provide the housing, but we have wraparound social services where we have caseworkers that will work with our participants to figure out the root cause of their homelessness, and reach out to community partners to get them what they need, whether it's, health, issues, or connected with job employment training programs. And so we just help to identify the causes of their homelessness so that they can become fully functioning members of our community.
I know that I've heard many people are like one paycheck away from being homeless. They're living paycheck to paycheck, and if one, loses their job, much less both. And then the minimum wage is not a living wage. So, and as you said, people with disabilities, mental health issues. I'm thinking you must partner a lot with other organizations. Is that right?
Yes, we absolutely do. We can't be the end-all be-all for everyone. So there's lots of different organizations that are doing great work in their own missions, and we try and partner with them so that we can, really wrap around each of our participants to help them, get back on their feet.
I love that wrap around. I'm sorry, go ahead.
One of the things that we haven't talked about yet is that all of our participants pay 30% of their income to live in our apartments. So they actually have skin in the game too.
That's great. So a lot of people, that are homeless, if they wanted market rate housing, it would be a lot more than 30%. Right. They'd probably be their whole paychecks in many instances, not much left for other, food and health care, things like that.
I think the data shows that in order to be able to afford a market rate apartment, you need to make about $20 an hour.
I know that we could talk about this issue for hours. It is an issue that is in the news a lot, and the homelessness, and but what you're doing, it's that wraparound service. You want to try to make sure that when they leave, or that they can go to another step, that they're learning new things. But funding, you've got a lot of great ways that you're raising money, and through that is your stores. Right. So let's start talking about your needs now and how people can help. All right, so let's go right into that. Your stores, I didn't realize it, but how much revenue do you bring in from your stores? And that's the majority of your funding?
Well, the majority of the funding for families in transition comes from housing and urban development,
rent, and that sort. But the stores really
are income generator, revenue source for the agency. We generate about $100,000 a year between the two stores for the agency. And yeah, the purpose of our stores is truly to become a revenue source for families in transition. We talk about being self-reliant to our participants, and that's one of the ways that we are doing the same as an agency. Instead of depending on other people for the funding, how can we make our own money to provide the housing and services that are so needed?
Right. All right. You have the thrift stores, which, by the way, I said at the top of the show how much I love it. So, you get great bargains there, and but it must provide clothing and whatever for your clients, correct?
All of the participants who live with families in transition upon move-in get a welcome basket, and so they typically will get a garbage barrel, a broom, a mop, cleaning supplies. If they need a bed, they'll get a bed, but they also get a voucher to shop at either one of our stores, so they can buy whatever they need to either furnish their apartment or clothing for themselves or their children. And I think that's important to note for our stores, both of them, the boutique here in Concord and on 2nd Street in Manchester. We sell everything that's donated. All of our products that we sell in our stores are donated completely by the community, individuals and businesses, from clothing, high-end to everyday clothing, to furniture, where we'll go to people's homes and pick up their furniture, decor, housewares, linens, all types of items. It's amazing what you can find at either store.
So, all right, you have trucks that pick up furniture at people's homes. You have an open position, correct?
Yes, we have two open positions. We have a truck driver position that's part-time that will be in charge of going to people's homes to pick up the furniture, and then an assistant who will ride with the truck driver to go to people's homes. And so those are both on our website at fitnh.org. And we're definitely looking to fill those positions.
Right. So you heard it here. If you want to get a nice job as a truck driver and help a great organization at the same time, be a part of it, there you go. So fitnh.org. All right. You've got, you have a great need for volunteers, correct?
We do.
Right.
So we do have paid professional staff at both of our stores. However, we cannot do what we do without the help of our volunteers. We are in need of either businesses to come in and donate and do sort of big projects either at our stores or potentially at either of our properties in downtown. It's good community service of, team building for companies to do that together, or as individuals to be able to come either once a month or however much you want to give to us in terms of their time and talent. We'd love to have it. Volunteer roles range from working the cash wrap to helping dress the mannequins, to sorting through donations, helping to price and tag items. Really, they really run the gamut, and we try and match what the volunteers' interest and skill set is to what our needs are, so that people feel really good about giving
comfortable
back
and
their
they
time.
enjoy what they're doing, sure, and they probably feel like they're really contributing more because they're comfortable with it.
We love
Yeah.
our volunteers.
Yeah,
Really
wow.
do.
So how many volunteers would you say that, do you have any approximate number of volunteer hours in the past year, or give me a sense of how many volunteers you need?
Well, let's see. For Families in Transition total, we had over 1,000 volunteers last year, donate over 30,000 hours.
My gosh, that's amazing.
And about 15 to 17,000 hours of that time was donated to both of our stores. So that just gives you a little bit of a glimpse into what the true need is. The more volunteers that we have, the quicker we can go through the donations, and the more we can get on the floor, the more we can sell, and the more we can, help provide housing and services.
So fitnh.org, fitnewhampshire.org. If you're just tuning in, this is Community Conversations. I'm Doris Ballard, your host, production of Concord TV, and we are taping right from the New England College Concord location at 62 North Main Street. My guest is Michelle Talwani. She's the Vice President of Marketing and Economic Development with Families in Transition, an amazing organization that's in Manchester, Wolfboro, Dover, Concord, and you really serve a lot of people. So you mentioned 700, but you said there's a long waiting list right now. In your circles of how people are referred to you?
We get referral from other shelters, but also people people who are homeless are pretty resourceful, and so they call our main line at 603-641-9441, and they'll leave a message. We'll get right back to them, and then just start the application process from there.
Let's talk about, in the time we have left, this exciting event that you hope will raise $50,000 this year. It'll be your 5th year. This is the Wicked Fit Run, and it's a 5K run dedicated to chasing away homelessness. I love that. Talk about this event, a costumed event, and it's just at Halloween time, so let me know all about it.
Well, Doris, it is a wicked fun event. Yeah. It really is. Like it, we're hoping to have over 1,000 registrants this year. Last year we had just over 700. It's a certified course, and it's flat. So for those serious runners, you can get some fast times running on the course. It's also family friendly. So come and walk with your family and your kids. Come dressed in costume. We have lots of prizes available for best costume, best team costumes. Lots of companies and organizations will get involved and do a lot of fundraising for us. If a team raises $500 or more, they get special superhero shirts that we give to them. The first 400 registrants get a really nice long sleeve tee to go with it. And it's a really fun event. It's at Rollins Park.
I was just going to say that. It's at Rollins Park.
Starts at 9:30 on Saturday, October 29th.
Right.
And
fitnh.org to get all the information on it. All right. With 1 minute left, Michelle Talwani, Families in Transition, what message would you have for our viewers and listeners?
Well, I would like to say that there's lots of ways to get involved. There are definitely a homelessness issue here, right here in Concord, and in order to get involved and make a difference in your own community, reach out to us. We have lots of volunteer opportunities. We have ways for businesses to get involved, do collections drives for our housing participants, cleaning supplies, diapers and wipes, do collections drives for outfitters. We'll come and deliver a great professional bin to your office, come back 2 weeks later, donate all your,
That's
nice
a great
clothing.
idea. That's a great idea.
And come to the Wicked Fit Run.
Yes, and if you don't want to run, you can just walk, right? You just walk, right? So yes, again, Michelle Talwani, thank you so much for being on Community Conversations, and thank you for the work that you all do at Families in Transition. Please do visit fitnh.org and see how you can help. Of course, cash, I'm sure, as always, is a way to donate right on the
Absolutely.
website. All right, and good luck with everything you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Appreciate it.
tuning in.